Hi, my name is Lisa Reiner. I have a Montessori school in northern Baltimore County. The Montessori Family Alliance has a new program rolling out for families and the parents of the community. And I did the workshop 2 weeks ago and immediately got off the workshop and went to my staff and told them how excited I am. I got into a trial of it to look around. I found myself during the workshop wanting to use my mouse to get into the different windows to see what the records were, what the different tabs were. I went home that evening and I put my own children in as a trial. I put them in at various ages, spreading them out a little more than they are, just so I could see what information it would provide. We saw on the trial picture of an empty room go on the screen and a click for suggestions for how to make it Montessori friendly for children at home. And I was amazed at the picture that came back. I think this tool is really going to help parents, help them find really useful information without having to sift through a lot of other information. I am a huge fan of tools and resources, and I realize that there are so many pieces of information out there that sometimes I find myself with enough energy to look at the first 3 to 5 things that come up. And if they are of no use, then I tend to stop and come back to it another time. And I think this Montessori Family Alliance program will be exactly what busy parents are looking for. It is an easy way to find information on what your child is doing, what your child will be doing, why your child is doing it, what's developmentally appropriate, where your child development is versus standards from the CDC. I think it's really going to be great. And I think it is going to benefit parents and help them know more and be more connected and be more sure. One of the things I really appreciate is it helps parents come up with questions to come into conferences with. And I think that is really empowering as a parent who's had Montessori children go through 6th grade through 8th grade. I have a son who's about to graduate Montessori high school. I think it's really helpful. Things are busy. I'm not always as prepared as I would like to be for high school conferences. And I think if I had had this, I would have been a little more prepared and I would have felt a little more confident in asking the questions that I could ask. So I'm really excited for our parents to have this tool and to have this empowerment. I ask the questions we are asked most of the time. I ask the questions about separation. Will my child be okay if they cry at drop off? How discipline works in Montessori, how engagement and record keeping works in Montessori, how the teachers know what lesson is next, when to give the next lesson, when to step in, and when to back up and give the child space. And I really appreciated those answers. I tend to ask the questions of it that were most asked and that teachers really are intentional in their answer to make sure they have the clarity they're trying to transfer to the parent. And I really appreciated all of the answers. When I get a book, before I decide to buy a book, I go through and pick random pages. And if I can relate to it, and if I think the information is solid, then I'll take the next step forward. And that's how I tested this. I took random pieces and checked it out. They all really stood strong. And then I went through it piece by piece to see how the questions were answered, what information was given, what the standards were that was given. And I thought they were all absolutely on point, very intuitive, very fast, very easy to use. And I appreciate all of that as a parent and as a teacher. We're always learning and growing. So every opportunity we have to help the parents learn and grow and help the staff learn and grow and help sharpen our edges is an opportunity to be capitalized on. I was amazed. I was absolutely amazed and so excited that it's going to empower the staff and the students.